Welcome back to Tran wins Baldur's Gate 3. If you arrive here without the Spear of Night,
this must be the last step. I need to pray. Only by Lady Shar's grace did we even make it this far.
Lady Shar's grace. Have you forgotten the skeletons she sent at us? Shadowheart?
Nothing. Shadowheart continues her prayer in silence.
There'll be time to pray later. Let's move.
She pays you no heed, remaining on her knees.
Use the power of the parasite. Heal inside Shadowheart's mind.
to amuse us, we'll go and cast Guidance using Shadowheart.
You feel your mind slip into Shadowheart's. But you are not the only one present. There is another, ancient, commanding, rendered from purest darkness. Shar.
Find my spear, step forward, and strike down the Selûnite.
As you command, Nightsinger.
Now go. Warm my blade with moon-crazed blood, and be wary of your companion. He pries in your thoughts.
That wasn't for you to hear!
I deserve to know what I'm getting myself into.
It's simple. My Lady Shar demands a sacrifice. One life. Not that it matters, but her reward aligns with your own interests.
Alright, fine. Let's move on.
No, not yet. We can't go on. Not without the Spear of Night. We must return to the library.
I don't care about the spear. I'm continuing.
My lady does not want you to. Please. Don't make me do this. Not after all we've been through.
I already gave you my answer. Forget the spear.
I'm sorry. I serve the Dark Lady. I'll dedicate the loss of you to her.
This is capital stupid. Begin with, it's totally believable that a cleric is willing to lay down her life or even put down the lives of others for their god. That's not my issue. My issue is, what is Shar the goddess of? Oh yes, trickery. This is in no way a optimal situation for an enemy cleric to be positioned in. And yes, I do have the full party mod. If you didn't have that, this would still be one cleric versus 3 adventurers. Typically, there'd probably be a rogue in there somewhere because especially Shar's places lots of traps and picks or locks to deal with. So that's going to be sneak attack damage. Probably the Holy Trinity is what they call it. There's going to be a fighter of some sort. Maybe a wizard or cleric, which I guess would be her. But nonetheless, this is a suboptimal position for her to be in. As I pointed out, there's just no reason for this to actually happen. Okay, well, that is Shadowheart down. Okay, we're not actually going to keep this. I just wanted to show you that Shadowheart, if you do not agree to her whims at this point, she will turn on you. And I just wanted to make fun of it for a bit. So let's go ahead and load. Before we press on to the Inner Sanctum, or whatever it's called, there's a couple things I want to cover. First off, there is an item I missed over here in this gilded chest. I went back through and farmed all of the spawning things for all the Justiciars that they're worth, which is why there's many extra dead bodies. There's the least expected bow here. Here it in Shadow, I get a 1d4 bonus to ranged weapon attacks. This would be good for a Sarian, except it takes both hands. I'd rather him use his hand crossbows. The other thing we want to take care of is let's go ahead and get the inspiration for Balthazar now that we have secured the area. I did mention that I killed all of the Justiciars. This room is full of those dead bodies. At the end of it is a Justiciar Crusader who appears, and while it might sound like a pretty worthy boss battle, he is worth 280 XP, but he only has a regular greatsword, even if he has command word drop on him. I didn't feel that putting you through killing all of these guys was worth that kind of video content just to have an extra 280 XP drop. Your gear, on the other hand, is like 120 XP or something along those lines. So he was definitely worth it as far as value. I went to, without turning Balthazar hostile, defeat all of his undead. We're gonna go ahead and just pull his undead out of the room. I could just do that in time before he... I did not do that in time. Okay, that looks good. Fortunately, you can't keep dragging them. It's basically stems from the point of origin. You'll note that these guys did not run towards the further cat. Let's go ahead and close this door. And we'll go ahead and begin. There's still one more undead in the room we'll need to take care of.
Nothing will stand in my way.
We just need to take care of Nair. What we'll do now is we'll pull Balthazar out of the room. Then we'll go and close the door now that he's passed through. Come on, Gale. He had 1 hit point left. Surely you could have at least handled that much. As a result, we get Acolyte, those for whom the bell tolled. There are a bunch of chests in the room, but they don't really have anything of note. Ingredients, a chest up here. Nair's body has absolutely nothing on it.
Let's move.
The heavy chest next to the bed. Some more random stuff. Somehow I doubt Balthazar is interested in 22 gold. More ingredients, dead pixie, another heavy chest. Some more ingredients. If we try to talk to Balthazar, because he's not in his normal position, the camera work cannot figure this out. Whenever you try to talk to him, he just says, just a moment, or not now. If you did want to talk to him, and we actually do, because I want to try to prove this point, essentially, you can make him return back to his spot by summoning a cat there. The reason that I concocted to drag him back to his spot is actually I want to buy his potion of haste. I could have done so beforehand, but I want to show you all the mechanics of the game. Probably close enough to the table.
Not lost your nerve, I hope. I tend to remove those from my creations. Too much fuss.
For whatever reason, when you pickpocket this dude, he automatically knows it's you. Even if you warp back to base, walk out of the room, whatever the case, he immediately becomes hostile to you after a couple seconds, after the computer has had time to realize he's been pickpocketed. I just want this potion of haste so he doesn't use it in an upcoming battle, and we'll go and leave. Again, we are keeping him alive for the sole purpose of having more dialogue, but we also got the inspiration and more experience points, because these guys would be gone if you complete the next section and then head back here to look for them. They're not there. We milked this for all it was worth. Let's now head to the next area, Verge of Shadows. And of course there is the famous Baldur's Gate line, though it's not quite the same with a different voice.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
I wonder if the narrator for this has ever heard the original line. Maybe she did. It's still something the wife and I say when we're trying to round up the kids.
Your party is gathered. You are ready. Or so you hope.
Are you sure you want to proceed? Yes. It's at this point where your other quests shut down and everything disappears from your map. That's how it's easy to tell that it has wiped the previous maps clear to free up memory. So traveling back is impossible.
As you step into the silent water, a foreign dread travels through you. It curls its way up your leg, squeezing tight.
Lady Shar. I can feel her all around. This is her domain. This is the Shadowfell.
You did well. Better than I would have credited you with. Now, hurry along and bear witness to my masterpiece.
This is the Dark Lady's domain. He does not belong here.
I closed the door shut behind me. How did you get here?
Simple. I followed you. It seems Shar still holds a grudge against General Thorm, and so sought to prevent me from entering in his name. Luckily, you were the perfect agent in helping me slip past her defenses. Now the Nightsong is within reach.
Quite the elaborate setup. Is the relic truly worth it?
There is not a shadow of a doubt. But don't take my word for it. Come, see for yourself.
You cannot actually do battle with him there, even if you talk about killing him.
I feel lighter, unburdened, as if the softest push could send me drifting away.
We never actually completed the anti-Ethel quest because, let me zoom in on Shadowheart because she's going to be talking for the rest of this, so I'd like her captions to be centered. But we never completed the anti-Ethel quest because come on, jump! Because the game bugged out and I was not able to move her to the next trigger. So I literally made our characters walk through the wall and continued the quest from there.
Just a little bit further. See my actions, Lady Shar. Hear my words of faith.
Listen to her.
Blessed Nightsinger, witness my adoration.
Your teammates get caught on this pretty easily. That's why I wait for 8 people to jump. I'm counting here mentally. Make it move as fluidly as possible. Waiting for the 8th person, and then we can just go ahead and move to the next one. I've actually rehearsed this a few times to try to get as quick as possible.
I have emptied my heart of falsehoods.
Although my videos are long, I actually do try to optimize my runs. You'll find some Dark Justiciar helmets around, but they're pretty worthless. Still, I want to try to show you all the loot and all the cool stuff in the game, in case someone's playing along and wants to maximize their playthrough. While obscured by shadow, the wearer gains +1 saving throw. We found those in the Grim Forge. There's another one up ahead as well.
Descend.
I have vanquished your foes. Lady Shar's will shall be done, as sure as night will fall.
You can actually skip one of the asteroids, but just went straight down here.
Lady Shar's will shall be done, as sure as night will fall.
Unkind, Aelin. Unkind and incorrect. I could never hate my master.
Perhaps you're right. Perhaps you're incapable of feeling at all.
Please, Aelin, spare me. Your insults grew tired and shop-worn years ago.
Alright, you'll note that there are some piles of bones around, and this happens to be a necromancer. We've also entered stealth mode for this next section, just because your characters will jump in and trigger the cutscene. Okay, let's go ahead and check my map real quick. I do have everybody. I don't see any blue dots around here. I'm going to make a save at this point, because there's a couple ways we're going to play this out. The first is we're just going to snipe him.
As much as I savor our conversations, it's high time we got started.
Do what you will. I cannot prevent you. But you know as well as I will come for you. One day.
Poor child. So enthralled by gory revenge fantasies, you may find yourself disappointed by reality.
Let us find out.
Let's go ahead and activate or prepare the spell of silence. He rolls high for initiative, so he'll get the move, and then he'll turn and see us breaking us out of hiding. That's fine. Since he was silenced, he was not able to make all of these bones rise. Let's go ahead and activate critical hit, Luck of the Far Realms.
Fool! You think striking down my body will be the end of me?
Well, if not that, then pretty close to it, dude.
As much as I savor our conversations, it's high time we got started.
Balthazar. Come to add more bars to my cage? Or perhaps to lead this would-be Justicia's blade directly to my heart? I invite you. Heap more sins upon your head. My retribution will be all the sweeter for them.
All this time, and you still fail to appreciate the gifts I bestowed on you, Aelin. Sad to see a thing of beauty not recognize its own worth. But General Thorm, he appreciates you, and he wants you close at hand. So, I am here to whisk you back to him.
Ketheric. I welcome the sight of him after these 100 years. He whose immortality I supply with my very soul.
General Thorm. I'm sure you'll be on your best behavior for him, but just in case, I've taken some precautions. Keep back. It will take quite some concentration to secure Aelin for her little journey.
Wait, the Nightsong is a person?
Person? Please. You insult her. You insult me. Aelin is so much more than that. She is an Aasimar, bound to a soul cage of my creation, and lending her immortal strength to General Thorm. Her power, his will, and my genius. An unsurpassable feat.
Ramblings most unsane. Poor Balthazar. The maggots ate his brain long ago.
Hold your tongue, Aelin, or I'll take it away from you again. And you, no more questions. No more interference.
If she's the reason Ketheric Thorm is invulnerable, you're not taking her. You're a dead man.
Dead man? You haven't been paying attention, have you? Perhaps I'll revive your carcass and add you to my retinue. Then you'll have all the time in the world to think on your mistakes.
Strong words for a weak man in arm's reach.
Let us make short work of this.
why we don't want to necessarily do Ice Storm, because I don't want my characters to slip around. Man, it's almost like I knew where everybody was going to be. Mighty Punch. That hit a number, that's a 38. Here's his regular punch, 23 to 39. And then here's his Flurry of Blows topple. The reason why we action surge with Lae'zel Dimension Door. Shadowheart. While we're up here, Spirit Guardians, radiant damage. Drink the Potion of Speed. Alright, we need to move these two out of the way. I realized I had positioned them in front of Shadowheart just as they were teleporting in.
Fool! You think striking down my body will be the end of me?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Onward.
Still have one skeleton. It's right there next to Gale. Can you hit all of them? Let's turn off Agonizing Blast, because I don't want to necessarily knock him into the chasm. Unfortunately, I can't get to him. We'll just hit him with all three bolts then. Forget where Will was. Dimension Door. Surprised I had the whole thing in range. Reactions. Luck of the Far rounds, but I'm not sure if we've already spent our reaction. So I'm not sure. Do I get it back at the beginning of my turn or at the end of it? Let's go ahead and we'll just force a Divine Strike. It might not be a critical though. Well, whether it was or not, it was enough to kill him. As for the loot, he's just barely on the rocks here. Speak with the dead, circle of bones, undead ward, allied units within 6 meters are resistant to bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing damage. I'll take that, thank you. The soul cage notes. Rambling notes on a spidery, jagged hand fill the volume. They speak of a soul cage binding the life force of one to that of another. Crude drawing shows 2 figures side by side. One on the left appears to have a dagger protruding from its chest, while the one on the right has a corresponding wound in its own chest.
Balthazar has drawn his final rancid breath. A pity it was not my hand that brought it about. Instead, it was you. You, who have come to seek the praise of your wicked goddess. You, who have come to drive a dagger through my heart.
Not a dagger, a spear. My Lady Shar's spear. Her fate is mine to seal. Let me handle this.
The fate you seal is your own. To be a Dark Justiciar is to turn your heart from everything but loss. You will know no love, no joy, only servitude. Until, of course, your mistress inevitably discards you. And there is much she does not tell you. A terrible blood price that may extend beyond my own death.
You feel Shadowheart bristling. This is important to her. But your bond is strong. You may yet be able to sway her from the path of duty to the path of light. And Nightsong is not blind to your conflict. Behind that raging heart is the restless beat of one who knows too well that her fate hangs in the balance.
Press Shadowheart. Do not interfere.
Well, well, well. What's that I sense? A spear intended for my heart? Empowered by your goddess, I. Empowered to kill the child of a god. Do you know what I am, little assassin? For I know you. A lost child, frightened by wolves in the dark.
What did you say?
Much has been promised to you, hasn't it? But what has been taken from you? What do you know of your own heart, your own life? I sense more in you than you know.
Whatever you think you know of me won't matter once I become who I'm meant to be.
Say nothing.
No, my magic item. Ah, it was lame anyways.
I can't believe I just did that. Lady Shar will disown me. What will happen to me?
Not what will happen. What will you do? Your past is not yet lost. Your future is not yet fixed. Lay a hand on me in friendship, not quite Sharon. And I will fight the battle that has been waiting for me this last century. Then, oh then, we will have much to discuss. Our Lady of Silver, hear me. She who guides the Moon Maiden Selûne, mother of the so-called Nightsong, The Nightsong is no more! I am resplendent. You have given me a great gift, little warrior. Don't you find it oh so curious that you would spurn your dark lady? Perhaps you feel a stirring of the truth already. But that will come later. There is a battle yet to be fought. You have done what we feared was impossible. You have released me from a century of sorrow. Your power is great. So too must be your weapon. You must choose what you will wield. And the Moon Maiden will provide. Thus I have said. Thus will it be so. Are you ready?
For my weapon, naturally.
Oh, and it shall be yours. And then? We're going to kill Ketheric Thorm.
We need to leave. Lady Shar won't stand for us to be here, not after what we did.
If Shar is angry, she's being remarkably quiet about it.
That's what frightens me. She must be angry. Yet, I don't feel it. Or hear it. There's only silence.
Just like a woman.
Let's get out of here, please. Whatever's coming, I don't want to be in the heart of the Shadowfell when it finds me. The Nightsong will be headed for Moonrise Towers. We'd better get there and see what she's unleashed against Ketheric Thorm.
A powerful ally. Well chosen, Shadowheart.
Ketheric Thorm's immortal no longer. He will know true death at our hands.
It talks about how she's been tortured, but that has happened during the entire loading screen, I guess. If you kill off Shadowheart at this point and then leave the area, she gets bugged out and won't speak to you.
I defied Lady Shar. She won't stand for this. We can talk later. I need to get out of here first. Please, my lady. Forgive me.
Shadowheart? What happened? You were missing for a moment.
I thought I was done for. I thought perhaps I might have been dead. This is all like some sort of terrible dream. But it's real, isn't it? I stood before the Nightsong. I heard Lady Shar's words. And I failed her. Worse than failed her, I defied her. Just because of what that Aasimar said. I tried to leave, but Shar blocked me. Punished me for failing her. I thought I knew the limit of pain that the incurable wound could inflict, but I had no idea. It felt like I was suffering the agony of 1,000 people all at once. My blood was boiling, my hair was on fire. I thought I'd claw my own face off with the pain. But then she released me. Banished me, more like. She said I was an outcast. That all of her children would know me and revile me.
Shadowheart looks distraught, abandoned by her goddess and all former allies. And as for her divine magic, admitting who empowers her now may break her spirit for good.
I never thought you'd actually defy Shar. What was going through your head?
When Nightsong mentioned wolves, I felt my heart freeze. She knows things about me. She has the answer. And I don't even know the question yet. I know. It doesn't make much sense, does it? A whole lifetime of faith, of service, all gone because of a few words from a stranger. Until I hear what Nightsong has to say for herself, I simply won't know if I've ruined everything for no reason. She took flight to hunt down Ketheric Thorm. All I can do is help hasten his demise, and hope that answers soon follow.
How are you feeling?
Do you really need to ask? I'm sorry. I have a lot on my mind. The Shadowfell, Nightsong. I can think of little else.
Nightsong. She mentioned your fear of wolves, just like you shared with me. That's no coincidence.
That's not the first time you've made such a leap. I don't know. Maybe it's a Selûnite trick, or another way for Lady Shar to test my faith.
You're too quick to find excuses for Shar. She turned on you.
After I failed her? The Shadowheart I thought I was would never even dreamed of defying the Lady Shar. I'm a stranger to myself. The sooner I speak to Nightsong, the sooner I'll know what the future holds for me. Assuming I have a future at all.
There's some matters I wanted to discuss.
I'm sorry. It might be best kept until later. I'd be a poor counsel and worse company just now.
I need you to stay at camp for now.
For the best, perhaps. More difficult for me to ruin things if I just keep out of the way.
And we get the Outlander achievement after concluding the flight of the Aasimar. Always a step ahead of the darkness. That's if you don't suffer Shadow Curse damage. Will, are you standing on a person? No, you're standing on rock. That's if you don't suffer Shadow Curse damage up to this point. And you can still get the Outlander achievement. Have Karlach run out into the darkness. The Shadow Curse is still in effect. Well, she's got the Pixie Blessing and Blessing of Selûne on her. If I can get rid of those and give her Shadow Curse damage, she will also get the achievement or inspiration for surviving Shadow Curse damage. Now let's go and talk to Minthara and get her dialogue about everybody.
Shar has discarded young Shadowheart like a broken toy. The gods are ever fickle.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts about our companions.
A disparate collection of vagabonds and strays. Did you have anyone particular in mind?
I'm curious to hear what you think of Shadowheart.
It would have been better for us had she embraced Shar and claimed the power of the goddess. But it is better for Shadowheart to be free of that poisonous influence.
Why do you feel that fate is a poison?
The gods are the source of our woes. Though I concede that Shar is far from the worst of them. The Night Singer has some admirable qualities. Far more than her insipid sister. But her followers are repressed. Take the child Shadowheart. She does not even know who she is, but still manages to pity herself. The very concept of Sharan worship is self-indulgent. They would have you think every whispered word and hidden thought is of value, but it is not so. I have performed 1,000 interrogations, squeezing out the most guarded secrets held in heart, mind, and soul. I can tell you this. When the trivial parts have been whittled away and I have sifted through what remains, in most cases, a person amounts to nothing at all.
What do you make of Astarion?
He's been deprived of freedom and strong blood for so long that he is addicted to both. While those addictions have their hold on him, he is still a slave.
Astarian's no slave. He's free of Cazador.
Free? What purpose does he have that does not involve his master? He fears him, he hates him, he dreams of him, and he will either kill him or die trying. Astarian is no more free of Cazador than you or I are free of our tadpoles. He will only be free when Cazador is dead, and that is as it should be. When the time comes, we must hope that he does not only take Cazador's long life, but the power that has sustained him as well.
How do you and Lae'zel get along?
I have encountered few Githyanki in my life. Those that I did were raiders. They croaked out pleas for mercy in their alien tongue as they died. Meeting Lae'zel makes me wish I knew more of their culture.
Why not ask Lae'zel to educate you?
I did. She told me that she has nothing to teach that cannot be learned through observation of her prowess in combat. Perhaps she is right. She certainly cuts a striking figure in battle. There is a precision to her ferocity that I admire.
It seems a rather brutal culture.
To one who only sees the surface of things, perhaps. You should look deeper. In spite of her youth, there is a patience and precision in Lae'zel's thoughts and actions that I admire. Those qualities will strengthen as she matures.
Have you spent much time with Gale?
The wizard? No.
Wouldn't you like to get to know him?
It is pointless. In my experience, the moment they leave their libraries, wizards have the life expectancy of a gnome in a war. Either the enemy recognizes they are a threat and kills them swiftly, or their curiosity leads them to combust while experimenting with the limits of magic. Our wizard is already in a state of suspended combustion, thanks to that orb between his ribs. I suspect it is only a matter of time before he goes up in smoke. I will reserve my social graces for those who might live long enough to appreciate them.
Any thoughts on Will?
He is exceedingly self-righteous. Amusing, considering he bound himself to a devil.
Find him insufferable.
Then do not suffer him. You do not need to like a man to fight alongside him effectively, and Will is a good soldier. I would rather be allied with a warlock than the spoiled son of a noble who has more experience with diplomats than devils.
You and Karlach seem to be friendly.
I have never known anyone so ferocious and unassailable in battle, and yet so fragile and impermanent in their very being. I often think of mortality as a curse. In time, all that I am and all that I have known and learned will be lost. In time, our cities will be dust. Karlach does not seem to have such anxieties. Perhaps because she cannot afford to. She exists in the moment, and she will burn out and be gone in a moment. There is something very beautiful about that.
I suppose it was only a matter of time until Shar took vengeance. For the Lady of Loss, she does not like losing.
Shadowheart suffers. You might be surprised, but it pains me to see.
As we close out this episode, I'm actually very confused about what has happened in the Sharan Temple. First off, if we take a look at these notes, we can see that the spear has always been a thing in the temple. It was not something created recently to deal with the Nightsong. This note, in summary, says that someone wants to steal this spear to become powerful. And then it's even older than that, older than the trainees, where the elders have decided that this spear needs to be safeguarded, and should anybody take it, it's not going to be any value to them, but they want to protect it nonetheless. It is a holy relic of long dead temple, so old that even when Yurgir came by and killed everybody, Those bodies have since decayed and turned to bone. I don't... So let's say that General Thorm took the power of the Nightsong when he was still a Sharan worshipper. So I don't see how that would be a thing, because if he worships Shar, he probably would not profane the sacred sacrifice. I'm assuming that's what she is, if she's been part of that temple for so long. If that was the case, if he turned her into Balthazar's puppet way back then, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, why did he leave those Umbro gems and everything else as it was? So that, I mean, I guess because the Yurgir killed the Sharan worshippers, and now only Balthazar is just starting to get around to digging through this grave. But Yurgir killed those worshippers a long time ago. You would think guarding your source of immortality for a person who's probably hated by many to be a very important thing. The timeline of this confuses me, and I'm probably very likely just reading too much into it. But alright. My videos for today are released at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. After this episode, there will be another video, a short, at 11 a.m., showing another way that I chose to deal with Balthazar. And then, after that, the next episode will be us attacking Moonrise Towers. Thank you very much for watching Tran Wins Baldur's Gate 3. I'll see you when we attack.